What are a few tips to start doing so I can stop self-sabotaging myself and quitting because of overwhelm when if I keep going, I would have a breakthrough with my finances and better relationships? You got to firstly remind yourself why we self-sabotage is not that you do not want to change, but because your survival brain does not feel safe changing. Now think about this, every single one of you. Wouldn't you agree? If somebody was to say to you, you could have a life of unlimited happiness and success, it wouldn't be like, you would be saying to yourself, I don't want that. You'd be like, where do I sign up? True. But if you was to observe your behaviors every single day, if you was to really actually analyze you when you're doing the things you do, the choices you make, decisions you make, you realize that we're often preventing ourselves from getting what we actually want. How many of you notice this? So in a lot of ways, you'll notice you're addicted to your patterns of self-sabotage. And the reason why this happens in psychology is all due to the fact that, think about this, change is what you crave, but change ultimately marks death. The death of what? Well, make sure to draw this out. Let me explain this to you right now. So, deep down, we're here wanting to change. Yes or no, by the way? And we're wanting to get here to get the results we want. Yes or no? Yes or no, by the way? I'm going to keep this simple for you to easily comprehend this, meaning you're more likely to action this. So we're here, we're looking to get here. That's the new future. But we do not realize this ultimately marks the death. The death of what? The death of this version of you. This is why the survival brain will naturally resist every form of change. Think about this. You and I know, in a lot of ways, our root of our many self-sabotaging behaviors comes down to our survival-based programming. To put simply, we're wired for an era that no longer exists. And for centuries, back in the caveman era, if you think about this, we were herd animals and we would be amongst the tribe. Yes or no? And this is why, just before I go on, why we often people please, even with the people we do not want to please. How many of you notice so many things you do is so that you can look okay in front of others? And you often realize sometimes we entertain even toxic relationships. Why? Because back in the caveman era, if your tribe did not accept you and you was acting different, it ultimately meant that you was now fending for yourself, meaning inevitable death. You getting this? So think about this. Right now, energetically, you are connected to people in your life. Yes or no? So energetically, you are connected to your family, your friends. True. The moment they think of your name, they've already associated a story and a trance involved with you, a behavior associated with you. So imagine if you're somebody who's always kind of a little bit of an introvert, kind of like me, just speaking very quiet, saying hi to your children, hi to colleagues, right? So that's how they associate your energy right now. And let's say you wake up in the morning and you say, hey, how are you doing? Well, how's morning? What would they say to you in that moment? What would they say to you? They will say, what's wrong with you? Or they'll say, what drugs are you on today? maybe I'm high on life, right? But how many of you notice people often begin to question you, especially when you act out of character? True. So what do most people do in this moment when people around you say to you, hey, are you sure that stuff works? Are you sure that isn't a waste of time? Who are you attempting to do that? What do most people do in that moment? They will often quit everything they're doing, meaning they will never change. You getting this? How many are following so far, by the way? This is why you'll notice in life, it's not that you don't do enough great things, but the root of your greatest problem is you stop doing the great things because those people often talk you out the game. When I was trying to, about 15 years ago, I had a vision of wanting to retire my mum. That was why I got started on this journey, because my real father, who I don't know, left battered and bruised. And so when I was young, I said to my mum, how can I best support you? And she said, please, my son, please support me one day. So it became my calling in a lot of ways. But you know what's crazy was when I was looking up all of this training, personal development, psychology, neuroscience, my own mother was questioning it. saying, are you sure this isn't waste of money? It's crazy, right? I'm trying to help this woman, but she is going against it. Who can resonate with this? My own very family member. And it was around this time I came across a quote from a mentor who said it's okay to live a life that others don't understand. Following so far, by the way. But you'll notice most of us, because we are truly wanting to fit in, even into places we don't belong, we often self-sabotage because we're easily steered away by their opinion. So, let me remind this to you, every single one of you. We have mistaken what love really means. And what I mean by that is we believe love is someone who accepts you as you are right now. But if you are drowning and I do not decide to save you, how can I say I love you? If I know where your road is heading and it's off that waterfall towards the inevitable death of your potential, how can I say I love you if I don't choose to wake you up and choose to say, hey, let's get things in order here. You got to change. How many of you are getting this? I tell you what love is. Love is respect. And people who truly respect you do not do what some people in your life are doing right now. Because in a lot of ways, there are some people in your life who are happy to see you settle. And if they truly did love you, they wouldn't be questioning your intention all the time. They'll be trying to help you. So this is why I truly believe that respect those who care enough about you to push you. Because frankly, you do not have enough of those people in your life. Now, in terms of the roots of this self-sabotage, we've talked about relationships here. But there are many other reasons why we self-sabotage. It's all to do with the death of the old self. Remind yourself, you cannot create a new life whilst you're holding on to the old. You cannot create a new life if you've got one foot on the shore and one foot in the infinite potential ocean. You getting this? So what's the one way you can guarantee failure, guarantee you'll never succeed with change? Well, the number one way is to have one foot in and one foot out, as in to lack commitment. How many of you can relate to this, by the way? As in, the mind, you'll notice, because it's afraid of change, it often wants to try stuff. But whilst you're trying stuff, you still got one foot out of the door thinking, where's the exit? Imagine you entered any relationship like that. What are the chances of relationship success? Is zero. This is why a wise person once said, most people fail in life not because of lack of desire, but because of a lack of commitment. Remember, it is commitment that equals freedom. It is a lack of commitment that equals prison.